We'll go now to the Daily Mirror's royal editor, Russell Myers. Russell, thank you for joining me. I hope you don't mind me saying you're one of the best in the business, so I'm glad to have you here with me tonight. From what I've read today, the royal family was given no heads up that this was going to happen. A courtesy call was made by police to the family after they had arrested Andrew. But from your sources, was there a feeling within the royal family that maybe this was coming, even if they didn't officially know that it would happen or when it would happen?
Yes, you're right. There was certainly no heads up, first of all, to the royal family or to the king that the police were going to turn up at his Sandringham residence. And I think that the royal family and indeed the public would have known that this would have happened. There was certainly the investigation was gathering pace over the last few days. We'd heard from the several police forces who were investigating Andrew that they had sought advice from the Crown Prosecution Service. And even the government. And I think that tells you the speed of what these investigations are moving at. And certainly the police will want to get it right. They want to be seen to be doing the right thing. Because the public sense of revulsion in this whole episode is quite high at the moment.
It's obviously just about to go 6:17 in the morning where you are. How is the story moving today, or how are we expecting the story to move today?
Well, I don't think we'll see a charge for quite some time. I would be surprised if it was several weeks. And certainly the fact that he has been released under investigation is very interesting. He hasn't been bailed. And there is a difference here in the UK because there are no limits to or no time limits on his release. So he could be called in for questioning once more. I mean, he was there for 12 hours yesterday. It's a considerable amount of time. But certainly the police, I imagine, will want to gather evidence. We saw two searches of royal residences yesterday, one at Sandringham and one at Windsor, his former residence of Royal Lodge. So whether he's pulled in again, I suppose that may happen in the next few days or even weeks. And I think he'll be lying low, certainly, for the next few days.
I think the question a lot of people would be thinking and wanting answered at the moment is how much has the royal family actually known about Andrew? What has his brother known? What is his nephews? What have they known about their uncle? How long have the details that are perhaps now coming to light through the Epstein files and other matters, of course, how long have they been sitting on all of this and have they hoped maybe that it would go away, or have they just been so deeply embarrassed that they didn't want to talk about it?
Well, it's a difficult question, isn't it? I mean, there's several instances here, and you've got multiple police forces, 9 in the UK now, investigating Andrew for a multitude of allegations. But let's take this first. This is misconduct in a public office, allegations of that relates to his work as a trade envoy for the British government. And I think that how could the royal family have known that he was potentially passing confidential information to Jeffrey Epstein and others? I mean, that is something that will have to be investigated, of course, but I think for the royal family are deeply, deeply embarrassed. And that is why you've seen the king making such an unprecedented statement, saying that the law must take its course. There's certainly no reason to shield him from legal recourse now. And as you said, they're deeply, deeply embarrassed at this whole situation. It's a complete stain on the monarchy. And no doubt we will see further statements for the king if indeed he is charged or there's further police activity.
Do you think there's any desire within the royal family, perhaps from some of its younger members, say the next in line to the throne, the Prince of Wales, to take an even harder stance on this and come out and say, even though there are currently no charges, he's not actually been accused of a crime at this point, we have enough knowledge in the public sphere to say that Andrew is a drag on the royal family and we're just completely ridding ourselves of him?
Well, what more can be done? I mean, the king has stripped him of his titles, he's taken away his honours, he's removed him from his sort of luxurious residence at Windsor. He's now putting him up in a very much smaller house on the Sandringham estate. There isn't much more he can do. He's certainly not a burden on the public purse. We've seen just last week that the king and the Prince and Princess of Wales spoke of their profound or deep concern at the cascade of allegations that were coming out from the Epstein files. So they are sort of bound by the structure of what's happening in the police investigation, because they won't want to prejudice any police investigation that is ongoing. Listen, I think that there is certainly strong feeling within the family. In my book recently, I'd written that Prince William had a very staunch view about Andrew immediately after the BBC Newsnight interview. He thought he should be exiled from public and privately from the family. He believed he was a stain on the family. That has come to fruition, regardless of whether these charges. You just have to look at that image of him leaving the police station last night. I mean, that is an incredible image of the King's brother essentially hiding from public view under the cover of darkness, and an extraordinary image, which unfortunately for the royal family will go down in history.
Indeed, as a photographer, it is the image you'd like to take. You mentioned your book there. You do have a new book coming out, William and Catherine, the intimate inside story, which is also being serialised in the Daily Mirror at the moment. Why should I go out and buy a copy of it? What sort of salacious details can you give me, Russell?
Well, it's certainly, a look behind the scenes of the huge moments that have followed the royal family in recent years. And certainly we've heard a lot from other members of the family, whether that's Harry and Meghan, or the details of the former Prince Andrew's involvement in several of these scandals. But I thought it was very, very interesting to look at the behind the scenes view of what all those big instances have been for the Prince and Princess of Wales. So I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it if you picked it up.
Thank you, Russell, so much for joining me, coming to us from the UK tonight. It's a good turn from him too, because what is it? We're 5:22 here in Sydney, so it's 6:22 in the morning over there. And I think the point he makes there about the fact that William has wanted to be strong on this from the get-go is really important, because if the monarchy is to survive, it will rely on the popularity of people like William and Kate to pull it off, and they have to get rid of Andrew to do that.